Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today is October 7th, so we are officially in our fall session, fall season for that matter, and certainly hope everybody is enjoying the weather today. It's going to be nice, not as warm as the weekend, but certainly a nice fall day today. Let me just start my computer. As I mentioned, I do my laptop and my computer so that I can monitor and see you that are online and ready to go. So certainly a good, oh, one moment, got a little bit of an issue here. Uh, I don't know what's going on. It's been a Monday, actually. It's quite the Monday. So there we go. Up and running. So fabulous, good to go here. And really computers, you gotta love them and you gotta hate them all at the same time, which is what I do. So I have a mug today. I got this at Bayfield a couple of years ago. It says barely awake. I love this. It's kind of fun. It embraces fall. Fall is when, it's a little bit darker in the morning, a little bit chillier. A lot of people want to maybe stay in bed a little bit longer because, it's just so nice and comfy. And that kind of embraces the fall season for me is really just flannel sheets and fireplaces and all the fun things that come along with the season. The leaves are changing. I mean, really, I think fall is one of my favorite seasons. That if those have favorite seasons, that's one of my favorite seasons, just because of the just everything that goes on in fall, I guess. So what's going on? Give you a free, I apologize for coming on a little bit late. I had a 9 o'clock appointment that I had scheduled. And so I'm coming to you at 10. Certainly it's a Facebook Live, so we can, and a podcast, so you can listen at any time. So what is the month of October? We talk about this normally in every podcast. The month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, believe it or not, 11,000 Illinois women are expected to be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. So, early detection is always so important. So, maintain your schedule of a mammogram sooner than later. The Illinois Department of Public Health operates the Illinois Breast and Cervical Cancer Program, which offers free exams and mammograms. And if you want, our office can assist with connecting you to those resources, or you can enroll in it by calling the Women's Health Line 888-522-1282. So the Health Line will be able to help you out as well. It was thought about and passed into law in 1995, and it has performed more than 822,000 screenings for 367,000 women. And so definitely it is well worth it. Now, as we've talked about in the past, not only women get breast cancer, there is a lower percentage of men that do get it as well. But it's still worth mentioning that everybody needs to be, concerned just in general. If something's not right, regardless if it's breast cancer or something else, get it checked out because you never know. I've had family members that never smoked a day in their life, got lung cancer and died. And then we all remember Senator Scott Bennett, who was 44 and went into coma, and they realized he had a brain tumor. So you never know. If something doesn't feel right, get it checked out 100%, regardless. That's just kind of the rule of thumb. So Saturday, October 5th, this past Saturday, was World Teachers Day. So thank all those teachers out there, not only on World Teacher Day, but every day, because they do a huge, huge job teaching our young individuals to be great individuals in their adulthood. Now, Thursday, October 10th, is World Mental Health Day. So mental health is the same as physical health. When you stress your physical body, stress your heart or something like that, you gotta get checked out. If you're stressed in your brain, you got things going on, get it checked out. It's okay to feel not okay once in a while. So have a discussion. Have a discussion. I've always had an open discussion with my kids about mental health. How are you feeling today? You know, anything that's stressing you. Talk to your kids when they're little. When they're little. Talk to them when they're 2 and 3 and 4, not only about things that are important to you, but things that are important to them. So I would talk to my kids about Legos, about Barbies, about their favorite TV, and I would let them talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about their favorite show that they saw 500 times. Just let them talk. And when you make their Barbies important, then you're validating them. When you make them feel like their Legos are important, then you're validating them. And so when you talk about those things and they're validated, those important things, then when things are really important, they'll talk to you because you validated them throughout their childhood. That's just a little nugget that I lived by. Whatever works in your family works in your family, but I always stop. You can't never be too busy to talk about Barbies and Legos and video games. All the conversations I heard from my son about Minecraft and what he was building and the animals. And I still don't know anything about Minecraft, but what he would tell me and on and on and on and on. And I would just sit there in his room listening and saying, that's cool, that's wonderful, that's awesome. Really, really validating them. So mental health day, check on them, check on your friends, validate them. How are you feeling? And they're going to say, oh, I'm feeling okay. But don't say, how are you feeling? Say, wow, I'm stressed today. What's your stress today? You know, connect in a really deep, validating way. Friday, October 11th, National Coming Out Day. Make sure that people care about, know that you love them unconditionally, regardless. That is so important. The Human Rights Council Coming Out page, resource page, go and visit that. We've talked about the Human Rights Council as well. And support everybody where they are and who they are is so important. Saturday, October 12th, National Farmers Day. So believe it or not, Illinois has more than 70,000 farms statewide. We produce much of our nation's corn. We're number 2 in corn production behind Iowa. We're number 1 in soybeans, and we produce a lot of wheat. So the countless men and women that work every day, hard work on the farms, the family farms to feed the world. And I didn't put that on there, but it is fall. So pumpkins. We are the number 1 producer of pumpkins. So it's a fall product. And we are excited to be the pumpkin capital of the nation, if you want to say. So everybody's pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving most likely came from Illinois. And then honoring my son who's in the Navy, Sunday, October 13th, U.S. Navy birthday. So happy 249th birthday to the United States Navy. Thank you to all the courageous men and women who serve. My son serving, floating out on his ship. I just got a little notice from him a couple of days ago. He's in port for a couple of days, then they're going back out. So I wanted to give a little shout out. And we are fingers crossed that he will be able to actually come home, set foot in his bedroom for the first time in 2.5 years this Christmas. So fingers crossed, everything gets approved. It looks like it's going to be doing a great job. Well, I say great job because my son doesn't do paperwork. So thank goodness he finally got his paperwork in and he can come home for Christmas. That's going to be really exciting. So fingers crossed. Everybody just keep thinking good thoughts that he gets that leave approved and doesn't get changed. So what's I like to do a little bit of a weekend review. So over the weekend, last weekend, I did the Tradeswomen Build Nations Conference. Talked a little bit about it. Being in a room with 5,000 plus tradeswomen is really, really awesome. That's all I have to say. We talked a lot about things that we can do to support them in their job, in their role as tradeswomen. They're a small percentage of the male population that are in the trades, but they are growing, and we want to make sure that we support the women in the trades. A lot of the women in the trades are single moms. And so we talked a lot about childcare, non-traditional childcare. working on that, not only for tradeswomen, non-traditional childcare, but really our first responders, our police, our fire, our 911 operators, individuals that need childcare that's not from like 7 to 4, that might be from 5 in the morning to 6, something to that effect, or even overnight childcare. So we want to make sure that we are supporting all families in every way, shape, or form we can in the roles and the jobs that they have in order to let them succeed. And then what did I do on Tuesday? I had a speaking engagement in the city at UIC, talking to the State University Annuitants Association group. They're a group of existing professors and then some retirees. They're all pretty much, if they worked at the state university in some way, shape, or form. It was a great group. I want to say about 50, 60 people talking as the chair of the Illinois State Personnel and Pensions Committee. So it was a really great event. And then Wednesday, we had a groundbreaking for CyrusOne Aurora Data Center. So data centers are the big thing. You and I are talking over this computer. Data center data is huge. And so it's going to be a new campus totaling 2 buildings, 446,000 square feet. And so local communities, national networks, the state-of-the-art digital infrastructure solutions. Now, back when I was an alderman, we voted to install fiber throughout the city, and it cost us $8 million, a huge investment. Back in the day, we're going back, over 10, 15 years. It was a little controversial, but we plugged in and we have like, I want to say 30, 40 strands of fiber going from DuPage into Aurora. And this fiber is key to really being able to support the jobs of the future. Now, did we think back then, did I even think back then, 15 some years ago, that data and data centers would be a thing that is so important? We did not. But forward looking, we decided we'd rather be prepared, link our schools up to fiber, link our city buildings up to fiber. So Aurora is plugged in. And one of the reasons why CyrusOne selected Aurora was because of this fiber. So certainly it's set to open in 2026. So about, a year and some. And they partnered with the state of Illinois, our Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. And then it does have a project labor agreement, and IBEW will be the primary labor partner. They have already invested over $1 billion across Illinois. CyrusOne has. So this is 4 of the largest data center campuses in the nation, and it's being built right here in Illinois. So we're really, really thrilled about that. And then following that on the 2nd, I visited a manufacturing company in Naperville, 155-year-old, 5-generation company, C.H. Hansen. So it was founded by Christian Henry Hansen, a Civil War veteran who fought and was injured in the Battle of Gettysburg. And certainly his lineage is still today. The pictures of all the generations are on the wall. And great-grandchildren are running it today. So what we worked at, and this is even going back when I first was a state representative, the Employer Training Investment Program, ETIP, is such a great program. So it allows businesses to stay competitive, increases capacity, and build stronger skilled workforce. And so we were able to present with the Illinois Manufacturing Association an ETIP award, a grant to this company. Now, what is C.H. Hansen? You probably have not heard of it at all. And I'm looking a little bit around my desk here to see if I have something to show you, but I don't. What it is their nameplates. They're nameplates that go on all sorts of things. They can go on on tags, luggage tags. They go on lockers. If you go to the gym and there's a locker and there's a number on it, they produce those tags for those lockers. So it's a very niche market, and it's just incredible, the manufacturing capacity and really the sophistication that goes into manufacturing that people don't know about. If you're part of my email list, you probably got some pictures, and you will get some pictures this week of actually everything that goes into making that little tag on the locker or the metal luggage tag. And they recycle all that they can. They recycle the metal that is scraps after they cut it out. It's really a great I'm always amazed with manufacturing, how much engineering and sophistication goes into every aspect of engineering. So we're excited, moving right along. 305 is the number. $305 million is what the Illinois Department of Transportation has been awarded in federal funding to invest in Interstate 290, as well as the Chicago Regional Environmental and Transportation Efficiency Program, the 75th Street Corridor Improvement Project. So this is, again, how important it is to have a functional federal government along with a functional state government so we can work together and we can be competitive in these grants. If we were not competitive and not had a good working relationship, this money could have gone to other states for other infrastructure. But the Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is part of this program, and it was competitive. We had to go up against other states, and we won. So 209.9 million to rebuild infrastructure, to look at 14 aging bridges and viaducts, as well as track lines, and then 95.6 million to reconstruct portions of 290, including upgrading the First Avenue interchange and adding signalized interchanges at Van Buren Street and Maybrook Drive. And so certainly that's going to be a huge issue. In 2019, we passed our infrastructure bill called the Rebuild Illinois. So we're able to take that money and match that with the federal funds to be competitive. So $33.2 billion is going into our transportation center, and we are using that as leverage with regards to federal grants. Now, I just had a meeting with the city of Aurora about Ogden Avenue, and there is a $3 million grant application to the federal government and the state to look at improving Ogden Avenue by Eola, by Montgomery Road, and in between, going up towards the mall, pretty much by Frontenac, I believe, to make that pedestrian friendly, and sidewalks and crosswalks, and looking at signalization, because Eola and 34, you have two schools there, and Montgomery Road, we had that unfortunate and very devastating tragedy of a bicyclist that got hit by a car. So certainly we want to make sure things are as safe as possible. So we are putting that in. We put that in. The deadline for that application was September 30th. I wrote a letter of support for the project, weighing everything that we need to do to make sure that we have good pedestrian bicycle accommodations and safe passageways. So that's just got submitted. Fingers crossed that we can get that and get the project up and running in the spring next year. So I just wanted to give you that update with regards to that. Recently, a law was signed that prohibits landlords statewide from taking retaliatory action against tenants who complain about living conditions, conditions that need to get fixed, or anything else. What has happened is sometimes tenants who are looking at a unit needs to be fixed, air conditioning, heating, you name it, or whatever. They're getting evicted instead of getting things fixed. So certainly it was a law that worked very closely with, and make sure that everybody can live peacefully in their domicile of choice. So other than that, Again, landlords, tenants should know there's a new Illinois rental assistance program. If you have a little bit of an issue, certainly we can help out. So it's a court-based rental assistance program. It started September 20th. Tenants and landlords can apply for up to $15,000 in emergency rental payments, and they can be applied to past due rent dating back to March 2020, believe it or not. They can also pay up to $500 for court costs and up to 2 months of future rent payments to prevent eviction. So one of the things that we very, very important is to work to help prevent homelessness. And this is very, very important. Tenants can apply for rental assistance program if they have a pending eviction due to non-payments. They can also be currently in court eviction proceedings and be able to provide the eviction documentation for the assistance. Certainly you can apply online at illinoishousinghelp.org. You can also call my office and help out as well with that. Furthermore, assistance programs, the 2024 LIHEAP. As the weather changes, of course, energy is going to be important. LIHEAP stands for Low Income Home Energy Assistance Programs. They are accepting applications from October 1st, 2024 through August 15th, 2025, or until all the money is gone. So certainly we want to make sure that folks have lights on and they stay warm in the winter. And so this assistance is offered through the Help Illinois Families Fund, and they will provide $226 million to eligible families to assist with natural gas, propane, electricity bills, and furnace assistance. So you can call helpillinoisfamilies.com, or you can call 1-833-711-0374. Assistance is available in 30 languages. I know I talked to some people. They think that there's only a few languages in Illinois. There are a lot of fluent individuals in other languages. 30 of them assistance is available for. So certainly look at that. Very important. Then moving right along, the Illinois State Police Director Brandon Kelly announced a new notification system to help reduce the number of crashes caused when drivers fail to move over for vehicles with flashing emergency lights. This is called Scott's Law. So if you see lights, if you see anybody in the shoulder, move over. Give them some space. Don't go flying by at the speed limit, because I know everybody's driving the speed limit. Don't go flying by at the speed limit on the interstates and risk somebody's safety. Move over, get out of the way, slow down, move over, give space to law enforcement officers, drivers, anybody on the side of the road. Scott's Law requires drivers to slow down, change lanes when approaching stationary emergency vehicles, including all highway maintenance vehicles displaying flashing lights, and any stationary vehicle with their hazard lights activated. Move over, slow down, move over. The slow down part is what's important, and the move over part. So certainly the Department of Innovation and Technology is working with the Illinois State Police to develop real-time GPS-based alerts to inform drivers of an Illinois State Police traffic activity on the road, urging them to slow down and move over. So now we're working at, you will get an alert on your Google Maps to let you know that you need to move over. Do I need to say that again? Move over. Get out of the lane, move over, create space. So it's going to be on your Google Maps. Icons will be popping up in the several weeks. It's going to be fed into the Google Cloud, where you can get Waze, GPS locations. And so certainly it's a really important thing to do. Wait, let me say it again. Move over. Since 2019, 2 Illinois State Police troopers have been killed, 9 seriously injured, and 51 others injured in move over crashes, meaning the people did not move over, was not paying attention. January 12th, 2019, Trooper Christopher Lambert was handling a crash on 294. He was outside of his vehicle with emergency lights on when another vehicle failed to slow down and Trooper Lambert was killed in an accident. March 28th, 2019, Trooper Brooke Jones Story was conducting a motor carrier safety inspection on Route 20. Trooper Jones Story was outside of her vehicle with the emergency lights on when another semi-truck hit her squad car, and she was killed as a result. So, first of all, pay attention, and I'm going to say it one more time, move over. You need to move over when driving on any road and you see somebody being pulled over on the side of the road, especially those police with their flashing lights on. And then we're looking at, again, food deserts. So we're looking at our first round of state grocery funding. We talked about this before. We awarded $7.9 million in grants under this program aimed at addressing food deserts. We're pretty much okay in our area, but other areas of the state, you just can't find a grocery store for miles. It's just not good. And then we're announcing that child and adult care food program across Illinois, we're served more than 85.6 million meals and snacks to children for fiscal year 2024. So this is a federal program that is administered by the Illinois State Board of Education. It's funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, and it helps to make sure kids in child care centers, daycare homes, after-school programs, emergency shelters receive healthy meals at no extra cost. So you can't learn if you're hungry or starving, and certainly we need to make sure that children are getting the proper nourishment they need. It also is a program that provides meals for adults 60 and older or adults living with disabilities through the Department of Aging. So we want individuals to get the food they need. In addition to that, families can get extra money for food through TANF, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program as well. So making sure that individuals get the food they need, I think, is just what a good community should do, help those that are struggling, and certainly making sure that they are getting the food they need is so important as well. So switching gears a little bit, the history of Stateville. Now it's getting ready to be demolished and rebuilt. It's a century. It opened in 1925. I know some people want to turn it into a haunted house. There's already a haunted house, but that was a jail. But this is the correctional center. It's near Joliet, Illinois. It's set to be demolished and rebuilt. It opened in 1925. It was initially envisioned to reform inmates rather than simply housing them. And it was been the center of controversy with debates surrounding how to handle prisoners fairly without sparking riots and mutinies. It has a circular design inspired by the philosopher Jeremy Bentham's Panopticon, where guards can monitor inmates from a central location, but the system proved challenging in practice. Stateville had numerous riots, escape attempts, scandals, including the 1931 riot involving 1,500 inmates and incidents. Certainly it has a reputation. It's been highlighted by its connections to notable criminals, Hollywood film producers, and the use of the electric chair for execution, including that of serial killer John Wayne Gacy. However, Illinois has not had the death penalty for decades, and so we are not going back to that. So we are moving them out. A federal judge ordered the people incarcerated at that prison to be transferred out due to really the horrible conditions of Stateville. And so that is in the working right now. Just want to say good morning to Bonnie and Roger and Ellen. Ellen says, better late than not at all. Those programs are well and good. But for those of us with dietary issues, those programs don't work. Well, that's good to know, Ellen. certainly that's something to look into. I know that we tried to help with dietary concerns, but certainly we can follow up with you and look at the food nutritional programs to make sure that we're always trying to make sure that people with dietary concerns get their needs met. And then other than that, just a quick update. We talked about this, I think last time, bird safe film was installed at McCormick Place Glass after a mass collision that killed 1,000 birds. It's not cheap. It's the McCormick Place had about 2 football fields worth of glass, and it was about $1.2 million. Took 3 months. But one night last fall, about 1,000 birds flew into the lakefront building and died. Deadly night drew widespread attention to the threat of buildings posed to birds. Also, the McCormick Place participates in Light Out Chicago, a voluntary commitment for buildings in the city to shut their lights off at night during the fall and spring migrations. You know, we need to do a better job of always turning off the lights when not in use. The fall's migration second wave hits late September, early October right now. So we'll see how that goes. The state's oldest lady turns 112 years old. My goodness gracious. The Springfield area woman is likely the oldest living resident in Illinois. Winona Bish, who currently lives in Sherman, turned 112 on October 2nd. Happy birthday to her. Bish's family describes her as someone who prefers to look at what's coming rather than what's behind her. She loves talking to her daughter Dolores throughout the day, in addition to speaking with her grandson Dirk, who lives in Miami, and her grandson Don, who lives in the Dominican Republic. Last year, Sangamon County Clerk Don Gray confirmed that Bish is the oldest living voter in the county. Furthermore, the family provided a copy of the birth certificate, and for history buffs, Dwight H. Green was governor at the time, who was listed at the top of the document. It is also possible that others in the state may be older, but the state has not been able to make contact with the organizations that keep track of the data. Bish is believed to be the 12th oldest person in the United States and the 55th oldest person in the world, according to the Geriology Research Group, which tracks the ages of super centenarians, or people who have lived to be 110 or older. So with that, and then I'm just going to say that we're going to wish her a happy birthday. And then we're going to wish Joe Atkins a congratulations of Wheaton, who grew a 2,000-pound pumpkin, giant pumpkin. The weight has finally been lifted off of his pressure. 2,021-pounder took first place in the Illinois Giant Pumpkin Growers Association weigh-off on Saturday. Atkins didn't know how much it weighed until went to the scale during the event in Minooka, but he said that it's unbelievable. He has been shooting for this for the longest time, so he is so excited that he finally got that accomplishment. He says, quote, "It was the best day ever." So leaving you with some fun facts at the end of this Facebook Live. Thank you all for joining me. We're going to look into if there's anything we can do about the food programs that assist with food for dietary constraints. And then certainly hope you have a wonderful October day here in the area. If you need anything, my office is open. Call for any assistance or help or email, and keep in touch. So take care all. Keep all the individuals that suffered from Hurricane Helene. I think 227 individuals on Saturday have passed away, have died in the hurricane. So keep all those individuals, North Carolina and Florida, that were affected by the storms, in our thoughts and in our prayers as well. So take care all. Have a great rest of the day. Have a good week. Again, COVID is still out there, so be careful with that, and be safe, be well, and we will be back next week. Take care, everybody.